HyperX Cloud 2 versus HyperX Revolver S. I've recently done reviews on both of these headphones, and when I did my Cloud 2 review, I was like, wow, these are the best things I've ever heard. They're the best headset that you can get for $100. The HyperX Cloud Revolver S was released not too long ago, and I got these, I reviewed them. I spent time over the last weekend listening to them, and I was like, wow, these are the best headphones ever too. I want to compare the two pros and cons all the way from how well they work down to how they sound as regular headphones, because I know a lot of people are trying to get gaming headsets that will serve as both. These HyperX guys, I think that they could serve as daily drivers for your headphone needs, as well as really great gaming headsets. Here we have the headsets themselves. Now, this is more of a straight-up headset design. As I said in my past review, these were actually a headphone made by a company called Takstar that I think was in concert with a company called QPad. In fact, QPad had their little logo on here. So the fact that they were a headphone before they were a gaming headset tells you something about what they were going for when they were making these guys. Again, we've got nice metal accents everywhere. We've got nice sort of matte finish, rubberized ear cups. We've got a gooseneck microphone here. They are a nice headphone, and they sound... Now, the Cloud S Revolver has much more of an aggressive look to it. Look how aggressive. The original Revolvers had red accents. This is sort of a blacked out version with some silver accents, which I like better personally. This sort of industrial looking design really gives them more of an aggressive, more of a gamer style look. That, again, still a removable microphone, and this hole is smaller than the other hole on the Cloud 2s. So, and again, we've got braided 3.5 millimeter cable. So with the two microphones, you get this more robust rubberized microphone, and here you've got a gooseneck. I like the gooseneck style better. I will say, and I'll throw some sound clips in. This is a test of the microphone on the HyperX Cloud 2. This is a test of the microphone on the HyperX Cloud 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. This is a test of the HyperX Revolver S microphone, a test of the HyperX Revolver microphone, testing 1, 2. I think this Cloud Revolver S sounds better than this, but really it's close enough that it might be personal preference for you. Two different styles of microphones. I think this is a little bit more easy to deal with and lower profile. So I think I do like the gooseneck style a little bit more. What do you think? This or this? So that's the microphone. That's the headsets themselves. Let's put them back here and start to talk about the differences between the two. Those differences really begin with the 7.1 surround sound and these dongles. Now, these guys have the same length cable, nice thick braided cable. The HyperX logo on this is for the Cloud 2. The HyperX logo for the Cloud 2 stays lit. 7.1 lights up in the middle. You have volume up and down for both chat and volume. Now you've got a bigger, fatter 7.1 Dolby logo there and a mute button. This is for the HyperX Revolver S. And then you've got dials for volume up and down and chat up and down. I think I like the dials better because it's easier to find a dial and then just, use it this way. You don't have to like figure out if you got the right button and all that kind of stuff. It's just there and you can go up and down. I like that better, I think. Two things that really differentiate the S from the HyperX Cloud 2. But these are presets. When you don't have 7.1 engaged, the presets are bass heavy, flat, and something else. I forget exactly what it is, but that's what the presets are for these guys. And then you can have it without a preset. And honestly, I think I either like the middle preset, which is flat, I believe, or I like nothing. Now, the other big difference is this doesn't provide 7.1 surround sound to the PS4, and neither one of them provide 7.1 to the Xbox. Both of them provide 7.1 to the PC. This guy, not for the PS4. This guy, yes, for the PS4. Well, I just noticed that the 7.1, now I will say that I've used the 7.1 on both, and I don't think that the 7.1 on both of those is anything really to write home about. If you've watched my channel, you'll know that I'm not a huge fan of 7.1 virtual surround sound, because it's not really 7.1 virtual surround sound. It is sort of software based. And if you've done any audio producing, you'll know that there are various plugins that you can use that can spread the stereo field, that can, a little bit of reverb here, a little bit of a spreader here, a little bit of an exciter there, and you can get a much wider, more three-dimensional sound. On both of these headphones, I will say the stereo, whether it's, the stereo sounds better on both of these headphones. For those of you who are console gamers, especially those of you who are working with the PlayStation 4, which one of these sounds better plugged into the DS4, the DualShock 4 controller, and which one doesn't? And it all comes down to their ohms rating. Ohms is the impedance at which the headphone will be driven by the sound that is coming through whatever device you're listening from. So how many ohms is this? 60, which tells you that you're going to need a more powerful device or a small amplifier or something like that to make these louder, that you'll be able to hear things and have some headroom. By headroom, I mean you don't have to go volume all the way up. You have a few notches to go before you get there. These guys are 60. These guys are 30. So what you really need to know, all that you really need to know is that these guys take more power to drive them. And the DualShock 4 controller without an external amplifier does not have enough power to make these as loud as you would want them. Okay? The DualShock 4 has more than enough power to make these loud. If you want to just plug and play, the stereo on these guys is fantastic. These are more of a neutral headphone. And by neutral, I mean there are no frequencies that are kind of boosted. There are no frequencies that really pop out. It's just, it has maybe a little bit of a curve up in the bass, maybe a little bit of a curve to the treble, but not much. So it's pretty true to the sound that's coming in when you're listening to them. Some people prefer that, some people don't. These guys are a much more colored and warmer headphone. For gaming, I found that to be really fantastic, which means they have more bass and maybe even a little bit more mid in a couple of different frequencies. And their high ends are not nearly as detailed as these. That matters both in gameplay, whereas I prefer these, and just straight up audio listening pleasure. I've spent the last day going back and forth, listening to these things, and trying to figure out if I was going to have these be my everyday for everything headphone. Which one do you want? If you want great gaming sound and maybe some all-around everyday headphone goodness, it depends on what you like, really. I mean, don't get this for the Xbox One. Get the Cloud X, which is made specifically for the Xbox One. But if you want to use this with the DualShock 4, they don't work as well. On a PC, they both sound great. So you got no problems there. It's just a matter of whether or not you want to choose the more neutral sounding headphone that needs a little bit more power to be driven and sounding good than these. If you like a more exciting, fun sounding headphone with more bass and, a fuller sound straight out of the box, then you want these. Overall, they both are great. The Revolver S works 7.1 surround sound with the PS4 as well as the PC. The Cloud 2s do not. The surround sound with both, not my favorite, but I'm not a huge surround sound fan. Buyer beware on the surround sound end. Between the Cloud 2 and the Revolver S, if it were me, I've got plenty of headphones, and I think the Revolver S sounds great, particularly if you just want to plug it into the DualShock 4, which I have to do if I want to be able to get audio from my PlayStation 4 to my streaming setup. So I would go Revolver S. If you want something that, doesn't necessarily sound great through there, but does sound great otherwise, Cloud 2. You can't go wrong with either. $100, $150. You're not really going to go wrong. It's just about which is your personal taste. I personally would take the Revolver S, but that's only because I have more than enough headphones to serve my everyday needs. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I answer as many questions as I possibly can down in the comments, so please leave me any of the questions that you might have. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you like the video, blah 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 blah. Subscribing helps you know when I am dropping something unbelievably smart and awesome onto the YouTube. Until the next time, this is the JTL and I'm out.